We're going to start our first panel, and it's called Opportunities and Challenges in Sim Racing with a Lookout to 2023. And I'd like to welcome on stage Steve Worrell, CEO of SimRacing.GP. Hi, good to have you here.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you. Yes, have a seat, please. I will come over later. Kam Khadem is there, head of brand and strategic growth for Next Level Racing. Hello, Kam. Hi, nice to meet you. Have a seat as well. And also Rune, Huse, Karlstad is their business development manager of Varjo. Welcome on stage. Hello, Rune. Hi, nice to have you here. Come on over, please. Oh, guys, would you please come one seat further, exactly, so that we can just have a nice round here. How are you doing, guys?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah, awesome, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So this is our first panel talk, so no one even knows what to do, except for me, because I have my cards. I've written down some questions, of course, but I really don't want this to be kind of an interview, but more like of a talk, so hopefully we can fulfill that dream for me. So first of all, perhaps, like, since I always say, like, the community is growing so much that there are always so many new members who probably might not really know what you guys are doing. So please, would you just be so kind to introduce yourself? Perhaps, Kam, start.
I'll go first. I guess my name is Kam Khadem. I'm the head of brand for Next Level Racing, and I guess a day in life of Kam looks like setting strategies, working with the marketing team and working with the global team to expand Next Level Racing, go into the new regions, and do some cool stuff for the sim racing community and the flight community.
Yeah, that is so nice. You are a sim racing rig manufacturer, also seats and motion platforms. That is right?
Correct.
So that everybody knows. Okay, then Steve.
Yeah, Steve Worrell, CEO of SimRacing.GP. We're an esports platform where drivers can come and find races, host races, but we also host professional esports competitions. So we are currently hosting the Logitech G Challenge, which is obviously a prestigious sim racing esports competition. And we're also doing the Pro Trophy for Expo as well. So over the last 5 months or so, we've been producing the Endurance Championship, which is the final here this weekend.
It is crazy. Absolutely nice. We're talking about that later. Rune.
Yes, my name is Rune, Huse, Karlstad. I am business development manager and head of sim racing at Varjo Technologies. We produce the only headset in the world that has human eye resolution, both for VR and XR. So you can do mixed reality racing or full immersed sim racing. Every day, just trying to expand various businesses. As we are coming from enterprise and commercial use, we are now trying to get into the more consumer-based market. As myself, as a hobby sim racer for a couple of years, it's really fun to be here and have a chat with these guys and see all the other cool hardware and stuff here as well.
Yeah, that's a nice intro too, because like having fun is basically what we are aiming on. So how do you like Nürnberg? It's a completely new environment.
It's my second time here, but I love Germany anyway. It's my favorite country, so I love being in Germany. Nürnberg's really cool, a lot of history, of course, and it's it's really nice to be back.
Have you been to the Christmas market already?
Not yet, but it's definitely on the agenda.
You too, guys?
Go for it.
Yeah, no, I'm from Norway, so it's not that far of a trip for me compared to from Kam, coming from the other side of the world. But yeah, it's not too unfamiliar climate, and for me, I've not been in the Christmas market yet, just been around the Messe. So.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, first time for myself, second time in Germany, but it's been great. The people have been lovely. The organizers have been really welcoming, so you feel like home away from home. But yeah, no, I haven't been to the Christmas market, but I've heard a lot about it. Maybe us three with our beards, we head over there next.
I think that is a good plan, actually. We have lots of mulled wine in Germany, so you have to taste
beer.
Beer is also nice.
Steve's going for a Santa look this year.
Thanks, mate.
Okay.
Too many grey hairs.
Let's not get too much into the alcohol topic. Let's more talk about, like, we're aiming on opportunities and challenges in sim racing and also with the lookout for 2023. But to look into the future, you always also have to regard the past somehow. So please, would you kind of tell me how the hurdles in 2022 were and how you overcame them, if there were some? Perhaps Steve, you can start.
Yeah, I think the main one has been seeing the effect of COVID, because we. The boom of sim racing during COVID has been incredible for sim racing, and we're still seeing the effect of it. But we always wondered at what point it's going to level out, and are we going to return back to sort of similar numbers that we saw before COVID? Because a lot of people were picking up sim racing equipment, getting involved, racing, And then real life started to happen again, and could they fit it in their schedule? But in a weird way, COVID has kind of been incredible for this industry, and the numbers have been elevated to such a point now that it's I can only see it going one way, and it hasn't dropped off as nearly as much as we thought it would. We're still seeing like steady growth now, and I think it's down to the fact that things like Expo, again, like taking this to another level. All of the other manufacturers like Logitech, again, stepping up their game. They really see the opportunity now. And yeah, like I say, obviously COVID was a terrible thing, but in a weird kind of way, it's kind of been quite good for the industry.
Yeah, it was a real push somehow. Would you agree on that? Like,
yeah, no, I totally agree. Just for myself, like I've been doing like the more like just playing around just for fun sort of stuff before COVID. But when COVID hit, motorsport was shut down, and you saw like all the professional drivers getting into live streaming, getting into iRacing. That's my first experience with iRacing as well, getting into there, and now actually being here and being able to showcase our hardware and pair it with other great manufacturers as well is really unique. And about SimRacing, it's all about experiencing the hardware itself. Is really challenging to see. You can see reviews on YouTube and all that sort of stuff, but actually being and testing out yourself and how the wheels and pedals and all that sort of stuff like mixed together, or it's definitely unique. So
yeah, Kam?
Yeah, no, I agree. You tend to see a huge growth in the last 12 to 24 months, and obviously COVID being a factor of it. New things have come up. I think SimRacing would have been there in 5 years, but it's expedited the whole process in terms of different manufacturers coming in terms of wheels and pedals, different technologies being introduced, which is amazing. I think rather than seeing in 5 years, let's see a bit quicker. Obviously, there's the unfortunate side of the global pandemic, but the industry is growing. We're able to be here and share new products, new experiences with new people. So, yeah, there has been challenges, and I think there has been growth as well in the last 12 months.
So COVID's been unfortunate, but also a nice push. Would you also consider it as a challenge because of like it was questioned so much? Like you had really a lot of work to do when people were starting sim racing so much, or it increased so much. Like did it somehow overwhelm you at some point, or did it just work out?
I think that what we noticed was that there was a lot of people just wanting to jump in, and sim racing, as you know, is. You have to put a bit of work into it, right? To get the most out of it, to have those adrenaline-filled races, you have to put a little bit of practice in, you have to get up to speed. So I think there was maybe a little bit of a learning curve, a steeper learning curve than people were really expecting. And maybe we're turning to us for answers at times, and it's like, well, you're just going to have to, push through this initial barrier. But when, when people have those first experiences where they have their first race where it's incredible, you just see them get the bug. But it's I think that was the biggest problem during that phase, was people just jumping in hoping they're going to have this incredible experience off the bat, and it's like this isn't like a racing game, so it's more like we're trying to replicate the real world. And there's some the guys we were just talking to, like with the esports pros, like they're putting in hours and hours and hours a day, and it doesn't just happen overnight. So.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just come like for me, just playing around with like I on the like racing games and trying. You think you're quite good driving around, but then jumping in online, you quickly find out like, oh my god, the level and the hours people put in to be up there. It's just insane. It's really impressive, especially with like the esports as well. It's a full-time job now. Oh, yeah. You have to actually put in like training hours, both in the simulator, but also in the gym as well, mental training. Yeah, it's actually getting more and more competitive, which is really cool, growing into more of a sport than a hobby.
Absolutely.
Previously been.
Thank God it's so fun, so that people really still like to do that, to put all in this effort. Kam, I was thinking about perhaps it might also have been a hurdle in terms of materials, because like in the pandemic and also in the crisis situation right now, it's somehow sometimes like complicated to get all the materials to produce your stuff. Do you feel that, or is it all fine?
Look, I think you feel it with any hardware manufacturer nowadays, whether it be PCs, whether it be cockpits, wheels and pedals. There's definitely a challenge with the spike of the growth in the industry, the demand for chips, the demand for hardware. You're going to see the effect of it, right? So you just have to navigate it. And I think just to build off of what the boys said earlier was you do feel overwhelmed, but you just have to adjust. You do have to be versatile in whatever you do and kind of move forward with it. There's going to be challenges. I don't think the challenges are going to stop anytime soon. I don't think we're going to go back to normal. We talk about this normal and all of this aspect, but this is our normal. There's different challenges being presented every day and all around the world. So we just have to adjust and kind of push forward with it. And I think that's where we are. We're a community, and we're going to push forward and kind of grow into that.
Yeah, I totally understand. But you don't have to answer, but from my perspective, it's super interesting to know, like, if there are days that you get, like, messages or something, instead of just like, oh, come on, no, this can't be true. They're like, this is a, like, messed up day, just skip the day, come back tomorrow, something like that. Did that happen to you in the last
No, it's been plain sailing the whole way through for us. Yeah, I think we're slightly different, and obviously we're building software as opposed to any hardware. But yeah, we all have those days, right, where maybe something's not quite worked out, or a bug that's appeared in our software. But yeah, we haven't had quite those challenges. But yeah, actually, the funny thing now actually is. With the rising cost of energy and people talking, like, we obviously sit in the do racing ourselves and sit in the chats, and people saying about, like, how much energy they're consuming racing now. When you think about, like, you're racing, you've got your incredible PC and your ultra wide monitor, or your triple screens, and your direct drive wheel. It's like you're consuming a lot of energy, right? And that's starting to come into people's minds. So I think that's going to be an interesting hurdle that we're going to have to navigate.
Definitely. Like, first, also to the hardware producers, are you having an eye on that? Is that something for the future you're planning on, like saving energy, or like building something energy saving? Hard to say, right?
Hard to say. Like, the headset itself, like in our case, it doesn't use that much power, but the PC itself uses a lot of power.
Yes, of
and now with the 4090, the newest generation of hardware, you can actually pull like 800-900 watts on the computer per hour. That's quite a lot, and it generates a lot of heat. But when you live in Northern Europe, it heats you up your room. So I don't know, you're spending that money anyway on heating. So
yeah.
What are you saying, that we should just sim race 24/7 just to heat the houses? Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, though. I like good idea for Christmas, maybe.
I'll try and convince the wife.
I think that's going to be a hard convince.
Okay, I actually really have hard times to decide which question to ask next, because, like, perhaps we start with you, Steve. You implemented also a ranking system, for example, last year. How did that work out?
Yeah, it's good. We've got a 3-stage development of that, and we've just completed the version 1 of our ranking. That phase was really just about gathering data and seeing how our unique ranking system, like, really works across thousands of users. We've built something that works across multiple games, multiple sims, different scenarios. I think one of the challenges that we were trying to face with that was we didn't want to have a rank for Race Room, a rank for ACC, a rank for whatever. We wanted to have a rank that works across all of it. And Ruslanis, our CTO, and his team have worked incredibly hard on, like, a machine learning ranking that does that and takes all of these variables into account. So things like the complexity of the race and how many people you're racing against, and all of these things. And we've just got to the end of version 1. And I might as well say it now. We're going to launch version 1.5 this week, and that is an update to the ranking system. It gives it makes it a more refined version of the ranking, but it also gives the tools to the communities to be able to limit their races by rank. So you can say, right, this race is for only the really high-end pros, but also you could do it the other way. You could say this race is only for, like, really, like, rookie drivers, and so that's going to be the new features that we're rolling out this week. And then after that, we've got our full competition system, which is, if you think of something like an iRacing, which you automated grids where you can have thousands of people sign up to a race, and it will automatically split them by rank and license. And again, that's cross-sim, and we're working on that at the moment. But yeah, really, really excited to roll out version 1.5. Version 1's been really good learning, and I'm hoping that people are going to really enjoy 1.5.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I was talking about to Luke right minutes ago on the stage. Like, this is so exciting that we have all of you here, like announcing things that nobody would have expected. I didn't even know you would just announce something like that. Nice. So thank you. Amazing. Are you also like you try to race sometimes? You said like you enjoyed it a little bit, but have you ever dropped into one of those contests or something?
No, I have not. I don't have the skill level to compete in that level. That I'm mostly playing around, sometime iRacing online, but mostly I do offline racing in AC or iRacing, just enjoying racing and like disconnecting a bit from like the everyday life.
But since there are rookie leagues now, like possible at least.
Yeah, I might need to give it a try.
It's interesting you mention it though, because like one of the challenges that we've had, maybe a self-inflicted challenge, is to try and build competitions which are not just for the pros. Like everyone knows that it's the same sort of like 150, 200 drivers that are going to be there at the end. Like whether it's a hot lap and they go into a championship, or we do like knockouts where we try and make it so that everyone gets a chance. And the competitions that we put on have you get prizes. Like even if you're like me, I'm really slow, but you know, we're trying to build stuff which makes it accessible for people like me and the average racer. So if you're ever feeling like you just want to have a bit of fun, you don't have to be a pro. You can win some cool prizes. Maybe a headset one day.
I think that's a cool thing.
Might be.
That's a cool thing, Steve. It's just in terms of, I think sim racing sometimes it's this daunting monster where it's like this cockpit, this wheels, I got to be the best, I got to be the thing, but it's about enjoyment at the end of the day. There's a serious aspect of it which I respect, but there's the aspect of it as the community building and getting people in there. I don't come from a sim racing background, and I feel like the first sim racing game that I got into was iRacing, and I was so intimidated. I was like, I don't want to go, I don't want to crash anyone, but at the end of the day, you crash, you say sorry, you move on, and kind of move forward and build a bit of interest on it. So I really love what you guys are doing in terms of the community building side of it, for sure.
I think we appreciate each other's work here because it's so much like giving to the community. Honestly, talking about next level racing, Kam, immersion is a big topic. The level gets higher and higher. What do you think we can expect in the next, there has been so much improvement in the last 5 years. What will we expect, or what can we expect in the next 5 to 10 years? Do you have an idea of what will happen, or do you just don't know as well?
Yeah, I think we do have an idea, but there's also, like I said, there's so many factors that are happening around the world in terms of resources being added to sim racing, motorsport, whether it be flight or sim racing in that aspect of it. I think because of going back to the topic of pandemic, there's been a lot of reassurance that sim racing is a tool for training when you're off the track, right? The muscle memory does transfer over. You're going to have a lot of people, I guess, in this space looking at how they can use it for training. And I think in terms of a cockpit manufacturer, we look at how to bring that true immersion in terms of positioning, in terms of having the right ergonomics to help people in their training process. I personally think the definition of sports in the next 5 to 10 years is going to change, which I think is an interesting topic as well, where you'll see sim racing getting into it, a bit more of it into it. You'll see platform like SGP being driving factors of it. You'll see, Varjo technology giving you that immersion of it, and hopefully next level racing being the cockpit that kind of gives you that ergonomic that you feel you're in the car, and I think that's what we're going to expect in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, perhaps Rune, you also can say something about that, because immersion is also a big topic for you, right?
Yeah, definitely. So looking at when you do sim racing, it's all about replicating what the real car is doing. And with monitors, you have, if you weren't going to have a single monitor, you're just going to look just in front of you. Mm-hmm. You're not able to see the cars around you. So when you are doing this fighting online, for example, you can't really turn around and see where the other competitors are, and then you're more likely to crash. Mm-hmm. Then you would need a triple screen setup or ultra wide, for example. And just speaking for myself, I live in a medium-sized apartment, and I don't really have space for a triple screen or even a huge monitor.
I have, but my girlfriend hasn't.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
That's a different story. But yeah, using VR, you can actually have a really small factory rig with next level racing stuff with emotion as well. It's really small factor that you can have it just in the corner at home.
Yeah.
And with the VR, you can actually see it in the car. We already had running a few demos here today and yesterday as well, and feedback is everyone's like, okay, I actually feel seated in the car after a lap or two. You almost forget that you are somewhere completely different. You feel like you're on the racetrack.
I think also just to add to that, I think in the next 5 to 10 years it's going to be more accessible. Right? You'll see the challenge right now, maybe the price point of it or all of that, but it's been really interesting in the last 12 to 24 months to see a lot of manufacturers come into the space in terms of creating new things and different things, and I think that's going to be exciting, and how to make that accessible, how to make sim racing accessible.
Do you know, I think taking a longer view than like sort of 5 years, 10 years, it's if you look even further out, I think that the transition of motorsport into virtual motorsports are going to become even greater, and not just that, but like automotive as well. I mean, like you look at the cars that you've got sat out the front here.
Yeah.
In 2035, you're not going to be able to buy a car like that in the UK.
It's not going to be allowed anymore, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's going to be electric.
Yeah.
And then where do we go from there? We go from electric vehicles to autonomous vehicles. So you're not even going to be driving a car in 30, 40 years. So where are you going to race a car like that? It's going to be virtual. Definitely. So for brands like these guys, if they want to keep their brand alive and let people experience the roar of a V8 or V12 engine or something, they're going to have to do it virtually. And I think that's why we're in a really interesting position at the moment with this industry. It feels like it's been around for years and it's booming and whatever, but we're right at the beginning of this still. And I think the next 20 years is going to be really interesting for motorsport in general.
Kam, I see you like you want.
No, I think it's really nice to see manufacturers getting involved in the sim racing world, right? Because it adds that reassurance in terms of the industry itself, and kudos to Ford being here as a manufacturer and showing what they're doing. We have partnerships with Ferrari, and they're really investing into the esports side, which is really interesting as well to see. And I think you're right. The definition of interacting with automobiles it is going to change in the next 15 years, right? We're not going to have the luxury of everybody getting into their car, going on the track, and all of that. That's going to be limited. And I think that's why I totally agree with you that we're pioneers in this space, and it's really cool to work together. And Steve and I, and even Rune, we've had a lot of working relationships and kind of looking at saying, hey, how can we build this? What can we do to get more engagement and all of that? Because it is early steps, it is early stages. And I think that's what we need in the industry itself is collaborations and working together and see what the next 10 to 15 looks like so we can all benefit from it.
Yeah. Are you also aiming on that, Rune? Like with cooperations, for example, with like car manufacturers or something like that?
Yeah, definitely. Both for VR, but also, as Kam mentioned, on the esports side as well. Sorry, I fell off my own mind now.
No worries.
No.
Okay. So my idea was to ask, like, if you also like have an eye on that, like to work together with car manufacturers or something, like because you build VR headsets, like so far away from car industry, from my perspective, you know.
Yeah, that's true. So taking one example, like BMW, for example, created a couple of months back. Instead of driving on actual racing track, they built like a huge parking lot where they used the headset, and they did, instead of having mixed reality where they have the simulator on the screens and then the real steering wheel, they switched it. So now you're actually driving on a parking lot. It seems to be a racetrack, and you're driving inside mixed reality, but it's actually inside a real car.
Okay,
that's really, really cool, and it's getting like it really tricks your mind again. It's like a next level of immersion again. I mean, I think like working together with other companies as well, like SimRacing, it's still very early on in these phases, and companies need to work with each other to find out what the great products are, because we have different backgrounds, knowledge, different products, software, hardware, or whatnot.
I think also there's so much like opportunities of like working together and helping each other out with the knowledge every like company has, because we're all working on so specific topics somehow. Let's also have a brief look into the VR headsets as well. Like they are, don't get me wrong, they are nice but still pretty clunky somehow. Are you aiming on like making them more fitting in a way, or?
Yeah, I would say that it's like a natural step of technology, really. So if you want to have a small form factor like Google Glasses, small sort of type, the technology isn't really there now. Look at the Oculus Quest, for example. That's like almost how good you can get it like wireless without getting super expensive into it. So it's based on where the technology goes, but also what the customer base are, what are they actually willing to pay for the products.
Yeah.
But of course, we have a mixed reality headset. It's 6,500 euros. You're not going to buy that as a private person, most likely. But like you're seeing now with technology getting cheaper and cheaper and more accessible, then the form factor as well is getting smaller and smaller.
Is that something you also feel or see coming, that it's like usually it is like that, you produce like high level stuff which is really expensive and then 2 years later you can buy it for affordable prices? Is that also what is going to happen, like what you're looking to?
Yeah, I think so. Just looking at mobile phones or computers, PC screens, like all the different hardware stuff within screen technology, it's definitely getting the more easier and more accessible, getting smaller the footprint. I think so, yeah.
Okay. Kam, every manufacturer tries to set themselves apart from the rest of the competition, right? So what makes NLR different?
I think Next Level Racing is different because of every individual that works at Next Level Racing. They all have their unique character, they all have their unique personality, and they're all passionate about different things, whether it be sim racing, whether it be customer service, whether it be marketing, whether it be product design. And I think that's what makes Next Level Racing unique. I think we're a family, we're a community,
That's so nice.
and I think it's driven by passion and by different people from different backgrounds, and I think that's why we are who we are, and that's our recipe.
Perhaps you other guys could also give us a little insight of your company. So like, how is it to get in every day? Like, are you more of a family, or what could you tell other? But no, how do you have to expect it? Like, do you have a table tennis or something like to chill out in the afternoon or something like that?
Well, there's table tennis in the office, which I haven't had a chance to play yet, which is a shame because I'm quite an avid table tennis player. But we do have one. Sim rigs, of course, to do the racing. But yeah, our office is in Lithuania, and I'm based in the UK with Dan. So really, it's like my day is working really closely with Dan, who basically just does everything for me. A legend. But he's we work so closely together. We've just become best of mates now at this point, and we're really in tune with what we need to get done each day, and working with the guys in Lithuania to develop the platform. It's a way of working that I'm not really used to. I'm used to working I've worked in consumer tech for my whole career, basically, apart from the last couple of years. Been working on SGP, and it's completely remote, like working from home. So it's a new way of working, and it's been a challenge to sort of, not be around people every day. And I like to sort of bounce ideas off people in person. And so Dan lives quite far away from me, but we try and make an effort to get close together at times, just so we can have those days where we bounce ideas around. But I really enjoy working with the guys. It's great fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
For you too.
Bit similar with Steve. Like, I'm based in Norway, and Varjo is based in Finland, and Helsinki. So for me, I'm as a remote position as well. But we have our VR and XR headsets, so we're playing around both tabletop tennis, but mini golf as well. But in VR, it's really, really fun to meet up in these like social events once a month, where we're trying to involve everyone from home offices around the world, where we have people. To do these social events within VR, if that is flight sim or tabletop or golf or whatnot. It's really fun. It's really fun way to engage with people, not just looking at their teams or driving around to see them.
Yeah, okay. So I really like those answers of yours, because there's so much competition in the world, and also in the world of sim racing, that this is also really, really very human, and nice to see that everybody's staying human and having a good time and aiming on that mostly. Still want to get back to the virtual world somehow, especially to VR and AR experiences. In the future, immersion is going to be a big topic. So are you also perhaps aiming on other senses to be incorporated to all this, like smell or touch or something like that?
Yeah, so for us, I think we're mainly working on the headset, but looking at sim racing, you have Next Level Racing, for example, with their motion setup. That's one part of the haptics that you can get, and then you have other, you have Sense glove, like Tesla suits, like gloves and suits and stuff like that really helps you feel stuff. Mm-hmm. Like with the Tesla suit gloves, you can actually pick up an apple and pick out the thread on it, and actually feel that in your hands while in VR. It really tricks your mind, and all this sort of stuff. I think smell within racing would be cool, having the fuel and rubber smell. Mm-hmm. But it's a fun thing. But I think it's more about feeling, getting like force feedback, feeling the senses of the G-forces with like if that's like air puddles that is like blowing up to like tighten you in and simulate the G-forces or whatnot. Definitely see that's the direction it's going, because it's all about replicating what's happening in the real car. So
I've got a question for you. Like, how do you feel about like people's first experience with VR being a bad one, whether it's like one of the phones or a Google Cardbox one or cardboard box one?
Yeah.
Like, and I've seen a lot of people that sort of just fall off of VR like straight away. Yeah, tried it, didn't like it. Where you're like completely the other end of the scale. You're super high end, super high resolution. I think if people tried that first, they'd have a different view on VR. Does that like how do you manage that situation?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think like I meet that every day or every time I'm doing expos, because people are trying like the entry-level stuff with a mobile phone, putting it in a cardboard and doing roller coasters and all this crazy stuff. And it does actually fuck up your head, to put it like directly, because it really tricks your head and getting the dizziness and the pixels and all that sort of stuff. It really tricks your head. But like when you would have it from the other side, you have crystal clear screen, you have active cooling, all these nice to have features. And I think VR is like partly on the hardware side, but also part on the software side. If you are seated in like an environment cockpit, you don't get motion sick. But if you are on a bicycle or you don't have anything around you that kind of like locks the view, so you don't have any fixed things to look at, it really tricks your mind and getting more motion sick and getting the dizziness.
Okay, so is the fixed position for sim racers really helping VR headsets or like to not get motion sick and stuff?
Yeah, definitely, I would say so. If you play around with like first-person shooter in VR, for example, where you are like floating around and your body is not floating or moving around with it, your mind understands right away, okay, there's something off, there's something wrong going on. But if you have the feedback, you have something that is like moving around with you, your mind actually thinks you are in that situation.
Yeah, okay, and that is crazy. Talking about motion platforms, because this is so close to that, what is the next step over there, or how is there something like you can tell about what you're planning on, or just give me something, some idea of what's the future of that?
You're begging for a product drop, aren't you?
No, not really. But it might be that you have something to say.
No, I think similar to Steve, we got some exciting stuff coming out in terms of haptic. We'll be releasing a new product next month, and we'll be displaying it here at ADAC, giving a teaser look. We're calling it haptic feedback. HF8, and it really works on localizing in terms of what you feel in the game in different motors. It's compatible with different seats, different cockpits, and all of that aspect of it. So we'll be showing that it's compatible with iRacing, Assetto Corsa. It'll be compatible with first-person shooter games and flight simulator games as well. So I guess that's a bit of direction for us in terms of it, is looking at haptic as a bigger thing, creating a better immersion, and combining that with, VR. We actually try it in our office. It's amazing. We love it, and hopefully once it's released, we can send it to the Varjo office, and you guys can give it a try and see if you love it. But yeah, that's a little bit of a step for us in the near future, in the next 2 to 4 weeks.
See, guys, it happened again. Nice. Yeah, thank you for that. Honestly, it's really amazing. Does it just came to my mind? Does it sometimes happen that you in your offices just have so much fun trying it out that you can't get to work anymore, or just have to make yourself really, I have to go to work now again because it's just so fun?
Look, we're pioneers of the industry, so you got to tell the guys to go back to work and keep doing things and stuff like that. But no, for us in the office. It gets really exciting. The guys, we have a couple of cockpits set up in the showroom, and people have a little bit of challenge. Who can be the fastest? A little bit of bragging rights. At Nextel Racing, we also have community events where a lot of the staff get involved with the community and the esports teams that we have partnership with. So that's really awesome as well to see colleagues come together, have a little bit of fun, and after that going and saying, "Why did you bump me? Why did you not bump me?" and have a little bit of chat. But I think the balance is needed for our industry. We're still gaming, we're still fun, but we still got to make serious decisions as well.
Yeah, of course. How about you?
Well, I've got a leaderboard in the office, which I think I'm top on, Dan? Yeah, I'm top. I'm definitely not.
You're the CEO, you're always the top.
I think Dan's top, but yeah, no, there's like the leaderboard and stuff. I think with the nature of what we're doing, like building software, we have to test it. So we do a lot of racing anyway, and then we do racing in the spare time, and so there's a lot of racing involved. But yeah, I suppose it's a bit of a perk of the job, I suppose, is getting to test it, and that means racing. So yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. It's all about, it's a perk on the job, and also you have a leaderboard as well, but it's also about like understanding your products, how it works, how the community is in use, or how they are using it, how they feel like while using it. Mm-hmm. So it's important to understand that as well, and having fun while doing it at work, then why not?
Yeah, you've got to eat your own dog food, right? You've got to really understand what you're putting out there, and I think it's really important for our team to understand how it's being used, and help that drive the direction that we take it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like I think we put on 6 cockpits this weekend, mm-hmm. and you learn it inside and out. You gotta test it. You gotta be able to stand true to the message that you're gonna send to your customer. So I think testing is really important in any sort of software, hardware, and to make sure that we're giving the right product to the customer.
Yeah, perfect. Also, great excuse for having fun. I like the combination of both. Because, prove me wrong, but I think having fun is the best way to improve or to realize something beautiful, something successful, right? So if you're
not enjoying it, well, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. Let's get back to our next to SimRacing.GP. I have 1 or 2 more questions. The professional trophy is also happening this weekend with the finale. So how is it going, and how are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, very much looking forward to it. It's been absolutely amazing working with Kavana to put that on. I can't really take any credit for it. Dan, our community manager at SGP and sort of esports producer as well, he's the one that's put all of this together and done an amazing job. And I think we're really excited to see the final and how it all concludes, because there's a lot of money on the line as well. And it's been great to see the professional teams racing in this competition alongside community qualifiers as well. So it's not just, again, like that idea of making it not just about for the top pro teams, but to give everyone a chance. So there was a community qualifier which meant anyone could qualify for it, and we've got some community teams taking part. One of the community teams is actually racing with us on the Logitech booth as well. So it's been a great competition so far. I'm really looking forward to Saturday to see the final.
What are your expectations for the future?
Of Pro Trophy, hope to do it again. We've got some really good ideas. Dan's been working on some really cool formats. We've again the infrastructure that we've built with SGP means that we can do some quite crazy competition ideas and tournament formats. This one's been quite a straightforward one, actually. It's 6-hour races for pro teams, communities, whatever. But we can do some quite wacky stuff as well. So we'd be interested to see what the feedback is from the teams that have taken part this year, and see if we can do something even better next year.
Yeah. Okay. When you say we can do some quite wacky stuff, I of course want to know what that would be.
I mean, literally, you name it, and we can probably do it. Actually, like the ranking stuff's going to open up a ton of new opportunities for us when that's rolled out. But yeah, I mean, an example would be we did a race with G2 esports a couple of years ago now, I think. And it was GT4s go and do a lap, and then GT3 has to chase them down like a pursuit mode. I mean, that's not really infrastructure based, but we've got some crazy ideas, so we can do whatever really.
Okay, so is that also already the look out into the future, or is there something else in terms of expectations or challenges for 2023?
It's really, again, it's maybe a self-inflicted challenge, is trying to find tournament formats that work for people. Mm-hmm. We've built some amazing tools which allow anyone to take part, but we've also got the tools to do the pro stuff as well. So it's about finding what people want, right? Doing a bit of research to find what people want and how they want to engage with this stuff. Because I think, to your point, when you say esports competition, some people just go, that's not me. I'm not going to be quick enough. But again, we've built the tools to make sure that anyone can take part. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a case of finding out what people want to do and how they want to engage with this stuff. And I think, again, like the ranking is helping with that, and we can do tournaments for like rookie drivers or first timers or gamepad users or whatever, right? So maybe even like a VR competition, right? So
yeah, that would be fun.
That'd be really cool, right? So if you're racing in VR, let's find the quickest VR racer. So things like that. That's what we want to try and find out what we're going to do next.
You really want this VR headset, eh?
You got any free headsets?
Well, if you're just spinning them around, make sure there's one over here.
It's paid advertisement, just VR headsets.
Like, whoever of you guys wants to get rid of some of your stuff, like, just bring it on. No worries there. We're gonna have some audience who would really love that. Yeah. Still talking about the future, you guys as well. Like 2023, what's coming up? What are the expectations? What are the expected hurdles or challenges? Do you have any idea? Nobody wants it. Kam.
I think 2023 is going to be an exciting year for us in terms of products, in terms of different activations, different things that we're doing. And I think 2022 was an amazing year for us as well. And we've had some really exciting partnerships. Again, just to name a few, Veloci, they're here this weekend, Ford, Ferrari, G2. So those have been really exciting 22 achievements. We hope to grow with them in 2023 as well. And we hope to bring some products for the community that's well received and suits their needs, right? At the end of the day, if it doesn't suit their need, why would we bring products out? So 2023 is going to be an exciting year for us. I think we're just wrapping up 2022 and going into the year with a fresh start and new mindsets. And I hope to be working with SimRacing.GP and Varjo as we do and collaborate and grow the industry from next level racing perspective.
Yeah, just looking at from the Varjo perspective, 2023 is going to be a big year for us. Like 2022 was the first year we stepped into the consumer market, as were based in the enterprise business. It's going to be now. 2022 was a learning year, and now we're actually going to put our name more out there in 2023, and yeah, definitely through activations and collaborations. I definitely think that's the right direction to go.
Okay, that's amazing. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys are like preparing and doing in next year. We're like slowly coming to the end, but I want to give you the opportunity that maybe I forgot a question or something, and there's something you wanted to mention. Is there something you still want to like tell the community or answer to, which I just didn't ask?
Maybe another question for you, actually.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, go for it. Do you? You may already have, so apologies if you do. But do you have like a sim racing SKU where it's just like you only need this kit for sim racing, or is that a plan that you've got?
What's a sim racing SKU? For me, that's not English.
So like if you look at like Vive, for example, like you have to buy the headset, the trackers, the wands and stuff. It's like actually as a sim racer, you need the headset and a tracker.
Yeah, it's the same with us. So it has a tracker and a powerful computer, and you're set to go.
Oh, cool, nice.
Yeah.
So there's and is there something special planned, like a special sim racing headset or something like that, or do you just say like it fits all the needs already?
It fits all the needs already. It works with all the games, both for first person flight sim, racing sim. It works already quite good for that. But like there are some people that are building it into helmets, for example. So there are some crazy stuff going on. Nothing that we are doing ourselves, but let's see what's coming.
This is also perhaps an interesting topic in terms of like working with car manufacturers or race teams or something like real life race teams. Do they already put that in the helmets there?
Yeah.
Okay, that is somehow crazy. Even though I wouldn't like to race with a helmet at home, I think. But whatsoever, super nice. Okay, something else. Nothing there.
I think I've all questioned out.
Okay, that is a good thing, though. Then I think I'm super happy to have had you guys over here because we were bouncing around so much from like your products to your ideas of the future. I thought this vision of like that mobility gets like I don't know, like far away from driving ourselves and into driving simulations is the truth of the future. So this is going to be super intense and exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it. obviously you as well. Thank you for being here, and thank you for spreading the word.
Thanks for having us.
very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.